My beard is getting long. Okay guys, I know what you're thinking. Why the heck are you reviewing a tank that's been out for a while? Well, when I come across a product that is so good and performs so well for me, why would I not review it? Why would I not tell you how awesome this tank is? And this really is a great tank. It's performed great for me. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to. There's a lot of people that are getting new into vaping every day. So, you know, we need to keep spreading the word about new products or products that's been out for a while. That is great. So when someone's trying to buy a new product, they have plenty of stuff on the internet to look through. Plenty. So yeah, let's dive down, take a look at it, and I'll show you all the gory details up close. Okay, guys, let's take a look in the box real quick. You got the Herakles Hydra tank by Sense. Got our little warning card, some instructions, manual, nice, very nice color, specs on the back. So what all comes with this tank? So basically it comes with the tank, obviously, the extra glass, which I greatly prefer because, you know, if you drop it and break it, then you don't have to go buy a new tank altogether. So that's very smart. Love it when people do that. It also came with a Kanthal 1.8 coil that was inside the tank, and then the nickel, 0.2 nickel on coil. Let me just show you this little guy. So you have a 20 millimeter diameter on width on this tank. It's a 2 mil capacity, so it's not ginormous, but it's not a very big tank, so you kind of know that when you're getting into it. It's made of stainless steel and glass, obviously. It's got dual slots on both sides, so let me show you here. You've got your biggest one right here, and it matches it on the back side. Whatever you adjust it to does the same on the other side. So you've got your, I was in large, it's medium, and small. Now I've been rocking it on large, and it's been doing great. You've got your wide board stainless steel drip tip with the Dowrin on the inside, which is awesome. I love these drip tips by Herakles. I think they do great on flavor. Now, let me show you the perk that I love about this tank. It is low top fill bonus. Check that out. Check that out. I know a lot of you are thinking, wow, top fill. I mean, that's not really relatively new. I mean, maybe a couple months ago it was a little bit new, but right now it's not as new. But when I started getting in the vaping, everything was top fill. Now it's coming back around, so I'm very excited because then you don't have to flip it upside down and, you know, try to fill it up. So it's great. So yeah, let me show you what we got here. So you're going to go ahead and close off your airflow the best you can, and you've got these two massive slots at the top. Now this whole thing does come apart. I took a picture of it and I can show you it right here. So it does come apart completely to clean and, clean and do the whole thing that you need to do. And let me show you how you're filling this up. And today what do I got right here? I've got some 8-Bit Monkey by Aqua Element, and man, this stuff is awesome. Stick that bad boy right up in there and just kind of squeeze. Now I can see how this would be a little bit of a booger with a glass dripper, but I've done it and it's not really the end of the world. It just takes a little bit longer, and you obviously don't want to get the juice down the middle shaft of it because then you're going to have a mess and that would suck. But after you fill that bad boy up, screw that little sucker on there. Open her back up, and there you go. The coil here, let me see if I can do this the best I can without making a horrible mess. The only thing that I'm not super excited about is the O-ring that holds this glass to the top cap is not the greatest. So hence the, I guess since the top fill, which works great, had no leaking, had no problems. It works great, but I just kind of want to show you this, this coil. There's your bottom cap. And here is your coil. I got the 0.2 nickel coil on here right now. Let me see if I can get that to focus on how tiny these juice holes are. They're tiny. I mean tiny. Like little guys. Look at them little guys. Now the thing that I've been amazed by this guy is the wicking holes. Being so small, I figured surely this thing is just not gonna, it's not gonna perform well. It's gonna give me some dry hits from hell, kind of thing. And it has not had one dry hit. And I mean, for real, not one dry hit at all. And I'm rocking like 70-30 VG in this thing. And I mean, for 70 VG in here, and that's some heavy juice, or heavy on VG, for such tiny wicking holes, that thing is performing great. I've had some tanks like the Playboy and these other ones that are way bigger holes, and they still will get dry hits every once in a while. And this thing is just a chuckin', and it performs great. So let me give you one more up-closey looky of that little guy right there. And yeah, let's go up top and vape on her and talk a little more about the Herakles Hydra tank. Well, yeah. Well, there you have it. That is the Herakles Hydra tank by Sense. It performs great. First thing, a lot of questions I could ask is it mouth to lung or is it just lung hits? I've really had to go both ways, mostly because it's got the adjustable airflow, on 3 different sizes, and that just works great for me. I've been rocking it wide open, so I can do straight to lung. Now, I will tell you, it's a little bit on the tighter side going straight to lung. Not crazy tight, but it's not like a Twisted Messes RDA that's got 3 massive air holes. It is a tank, and like the just normal Herakles version 1 tank, it's a little bit tighter than that one even, on the biggest on that. But so far it's worked great. It's been phenomenal. This tank does come in silver, red, and black. The red and black, the only difference is the rings at the bottom of it, it has either red or black or the silver rings. The whole tank is always going to be silver. I'm not sure if they have black ones out at the moment. If they do, that's awesome. I'll look into it because this tank has been working great. But yeah, let's just go down the pros and cons. Cons. It doesn't hold a whole lot of juice, but you kind of know what you're getting into with that. It only holds 2 mils of juice. So for someone that is a heavy vapor, you're going to have to fill this up multiple times through the day. It's a little bit tight on the draw, like I said. Even on the widest air holds there are, it's still a little tight. It doesn't bother me, but for some of you it might bother you, so it's got to be mentioned. The Kanthal coils that come with it, or that you can even purchase for it, the only coils I've seen are the 1.8 Kanthal coils and the 0.2 nickel coils. That's fine. The problem is, and why it's a con, is because for someone that has maybe a hexome or something and they can't do the 0.2 nickel coils, having a 1.8 on there is a little bit too high of a resistance, and you have to crank that sucker all the way up just to barely get somewhat of a vape off of it. So that's kind of a con. The upside to that is for new vapors, it performs great at low wattages. So for someone that is a new vapor, maybe they aren't looking for sub-ohm, coils or a sub-ohm tank, which there are a plethora of. This might be it. Now, those coils might be a con and they might be a pro. I'm kind of both ways. It's a con because I can rock the 0.2 nickel coil on here because it's on temperature control. That's fine. But like I said, when I had the 1.8 Kanthal coil in here, I couldn't do anything but on some regulated devices, which is fine. But for me, I liked rocking my Hexome, and I wanted to put this on there. I couldn't do that. I can't rock, a nickel coil on there, not in temperature control. It's going to taste like the devil's butthole, and the 1.8 was just too high of a resistance. So that it is kind of a con. Pros. Speaking of coils, they are absolutely killer. I mean, killer. The coils have just performed great. And like I showed you in the up and close, the wicking holes are so small on this thing. I was expecting it to be not so great. It kind of reminded me of the Aspire Nautilus size coils. They're almost identical in size. The wicking, holes are almost identical in size. But it just performs. It performs great. I'm at 70% VG, and it's performing great. And I've seen some people and talked to some people that are rocking 100% VG, and it still works great. So that's awesome. That's definitely a pro. And that's not just in the 0.2 nickel one. That's also in the 1.8 that I tried. The coils lasted for me about 2 weeks, maybe, give or take a little bit. And I was vaping heavily. I mean, heavily through it to really put it through its paces, and it was working great. Another pro, stealth size. It's only 20 millimeters wide, and it is a stealth little guy. It works great. It looks super sexy on this mod. The silver on silver with the white looks great, and I slapped it on some of the smaller ones, like the little Coolfire 4 I have sitting around. It looks great on it. It looks fantastic, and it works great. The coils, the 1.8, it says 15 to 50 watts is what it's recommended for. I cranked that sucker all the way up to 50 watts on the Sigelli 150 with the 1.8 nickel or Kanthal coil, and it worked phenomenal. No dry hits. I'm talking none. None. I've had no dry hits with this thing, which is amazing, because I've had other coils that have way, way bigger, air holes on them, and they'll still get dry hits every once in a while. And this one just performs and performs. It's great. Another pro, easy to clean. Like I showed you in the picture, everything comes apart. It's like 1, 2, 3, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and you're done. It's easy. Easy to clean. It reassembles super easy. There's not much to it. Maybe 4 or 5 parts. That's about it. The drip tip, for me, I've always loved herakles drip tips. They work great. I love the dowel ring on the inside. I think it's a sturdy drip tip, but it's also got the dowel ring that makes the flavor just good. Speaking of flavor, man, this tank is just killing it on flavor. The biggest pro for me is top fill. And I know there's a bunch of other tanks out there now that have top fill, but top fill is just super, super convenient, and it is definitely the way everyone needs to keep going. Because especially, like for example, right now, I have the 0.2 nickel coil in here on the Snow Wolf. When I take the atomizer off and put it back on, it always asks you, is it a new coil? Is it a new device? Which is great, but it kind of gets old. When you're driving around, you have to slap on new devices or the same device because you're filling it up. With this, because it's top fill, just take it off, fill it up, boom, put it back on. You never have to take it off. So that's definitely a pro for me. And top fill is just, it's just a pro. It's just great. Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to, the pros and cons for me. There's some pros or some cons, but really the pros outweigh it for me. And it really comes down to, would I recommend it for someone else? Yes, I would definitely recommend this tank to someone else, especially a new vapor, or even not a new vapor, but especially a new vapor, someone that's trying to get into vaping. This is a great tank. Maybe you don't even need this tank, but you've got friends that are, starting to get into vaping or trying to get off of cigarettes or whatever. This is a great tank to recommend them. It's not huge, and for someone that doesn't vape as heavily as most vapors do, maybe someone that's new, 2 mils, that's going to get them most of the day, if not all. Especially if they're only taking smoke breaks frequently through the day and not just hitting it like we normally do. That's what she said. But yeah, it's a great tank. I would definitely recommend it. I found it for about 30 bucks online is what I'm seeing it for. And I'll have the link in the description below. It is a great tank, and for 30 bucks, shoot, that's a killer deal. The coils are performing great. The Kanthal and the nickel one performs great. No dry hits, top fill. easy. You know, just it's a great tank. It's a great tank, and yeah, I mean, it's awesome. So yeah, that wraps up this episode at the Church of Vapor. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know, send an email to your mom. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And next week we are going to go to your mom's house and have dinner.